What's going on? You trying to figure out how to file your business taxes? You just started, you've been started, right? You just need to learn how to file your business taxes. Well, you came to the right place. Jump in the lab with Dr. Blackwealth. Let's go. We're going to walk up the ladder if you were LLC all the way up to C-Corp. All right, let's get it. So as a sole proprietor, what happens is, as a sole proprietor, right, you do not need to file with the Secretary of State. We know that. You can just start doing business in your name. You can get a DBA certificate, also known as if you need to, right? And so that's going to be if I want to do business, right, without the business being in my name. So if I want to be Tariq Collins is doing business as Dr. Blackwealth, I'll get a DBA certificate for Dr. Blackwealth as a sole proprietor. I can get an EIN number. I cannot. I can use my social or EIN number, and to get a bank account the same way. All right. So once we have made money, right? Let's say I'm out here, I'm selling laboratory equipment, right? I made all my sales, I made money. I got up to a point where, we consistently making money. I have tracked my income against my expenses. And so it's about that time where I'm planning for taxes, right? So I got my income together, I got my expenses together, with all my necessary documents for my expenses. And then I go to my tax professional and say, hey, I'm ready to file this, right? So what's going to happen is, once we file those taxes, here's how the professional is going to do it. They're going to annotate your income. Then they're going to annotate your expenses, right? And they're going to be detailed expenses. So you can't just say, I spent $50,000 on office expenses, right? What were in the office expenses? How much was rent? How much was printer paper? How much was ink? How much was pencils? How much was notebooks? How much was marketing material? How much was the phone bill in there? Right? We got to break it all down. But it's going to go on a form called Schedule C that we're going to attach to your 1040. So a lot of people think as a sole proprietor or LLC, which we'll get into in a minute, those business taxes are filed separately, and they are not. They're actually filed on your personal tax return, attaching the Schedule C to the 1040, which is due always by April 15th, all right? Now let's step it up. I got my LLC, so now I actually formed the business with the Secretary of State. It has its own EIN number, got its own bank account. I've established some separation between me, right? Between Dr. Blackwealth and the business, or Tariq and the business, right? There's some separation. That's why it's limited liability. And so when we do that, we're going to calculate the income and expenses the same way as a sole proprietor, right? And then we're going to annotate. Well, on the Schedule C, you get to fill out all the information. You're going to fill out the business name, the business EIN, the business address, the activity of the business, right? What is it does my business do? What industry am I associated with? Am I associated with finance? Am I associated with consulting? Am I a janitor? Am I a salesman? Do I have a beauty salon, a barbershop? Whatever that looks like, we're going to associate it with it. You're going to get all your income. Now, your income can come from various different platforms, meaning if I receive cash, that's income. I just need to be tracking it, right? That throughout the year, I receive $50,000 cash, right? I receive $50,000 payments by way of PayPal or third-party merchant, PayPal, Stripe, right? All these little different Venmo, Cash App now, right? They're going to issue me a 1099-K. Those companies, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all those guys are going to issue you a 1099-K that you're going to take and add it to your income on your Schedule C. And then all your expenses, itemized expenses, right? How much was advertising? How much did I spend on advertising per Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube? How much did I spend on advertising for vendor booths throughout the year, right? What were my expenses associated with the booths, right? All the materials. How much did I spend on paper, pencils, ink, right? Whatever it costs to make my business make money. Business insurance, right? Health plans, right? Any type of wages, salary, all those things itemized, and we got the annotation, the documentation for it, especially for home office deductions. You want to make sure you annotate. What's the biggest room in my house, right? What's the square footage of my entire house? If my entire house is 1,000 square foot, right? But my office is 500 square feet. I use half of my business home deductions can be half of my operating costs for my home. So if my rent is 1,000, since I use half of it for business, right? I can write off $500 for my office expenses, right? So you want to itemize everything. Those go on the Schedule C attached to your 1040 that are due by April 15th. They are not separate taxes. They are on your 1040, attach a Schedule C, and they're due by April 15th of every year, right? Unless the IRS extended like the past few years with COVID, or unless you file an extension by April 15th, then it's due 6 months later, which is October 15th. S-Corp, let's get into the S-Corp. S-Corp, now we're starting to make some money. I'm ready to start paying myself, right? I got myself on W-2 wages, right? So when I fill out the 1120, one of the things the IRS is gonna look for is the owner's compensation box. It's the first page of the 1120. How much did it go, how much money went to the owners, to make sure as an owner, I'm in compliant with the rules of the schedules of the S-Corp, right? So we're gonna fill out the 1120. Same way like Schedule C's, you're gonna calculate all your income and from everywhere that it came from, cash, third-party vendors, right? Whatever that looks like. All my income, I calculated, all my expenses, itemized, meals and entertainment, right? What's entertainment, what's meals, what's advertising, what's business expense, what's office expense, right? What's legal or professional fees, mortgage interest fees, right? We're gonna itemize all those things on a form called an 1120, right? Those taxes are separate. So that's how you file S-Corp taxes with the form 1120, they're separate. The S-Corp taxes are due by March 15th. Why? Because we need to file the business taxes before the individual filed their taxes, because the business is going to issue the owners, the shareholders, a K-1. So if there's 10 shareholders, the business is going to spit out 10 K-1s, all right? And those go on your personal taxes, which are due April 15th. With the C-Corp, same income format. We built money, we got income, we got expenses, right? This time, the C-Corp taxes, though, are due April 15th. C-Corp pays their own tax, right? So they would have issued out dividends, they would have issued out wages, all of which are due by April 15th, right? So if we need to file an extension, you put the extension form in, file the extension, and then, you got till another 6 months. But you calculate income, and from all its various sources, do I have passive income? Do I own rental income? I got active income, right? All these things Schedule C's could do, or C corporations could do, right? And so when you do that, you make sure that you get all the income properly, all the expenses itemized, right? And it gets a little bit more complicated based on C Corp being able to own and do a lot of things. You got owner interest in other businesses, things of that nature. And you file on the form 1120, all right? 1120. And those are due by April 15th, or you put the extension in by April 15th and you got another 6 months, right? So that's how you file your business taxes. Sole proprietor LLC with a Schedule C attached to the 1040, right? S-Corp, use the form 1120S. C-Corp, you use form 1120, and you make sure you get all your income and expenses itemized and annotated for what it is. If you got depreciation, you need to know the details of the depreciation if you own real estate or equipment, right? And give it to your tax professional, and they will help you file your taxes in a timely manner or fashion. So that's how you file business taxes. Thank you for joining the lab. Dr. Blackwealth. See you next time.